In this problem, to talk about maximum or minimum for f, I am going for its derivative. I have dash of x is equal to 3 into x minus 3 whole square into x power n plus n into x minus 3 whole cube into x power n minus 1 I get. Now this is nothing but x minus 3 whole square into 3x power n plus n into x power n minus 1 I have. I mean into x minus 3 is there, into x minus 3. Now I want you to observe that if I am to the right of 0, if I am to the right of 0, this is anyways positive. So this is positive and this is positive, and this will be close to minus 3. I am just close to 0, to the right of 0. So this will be close to minus 3. Let me do one thing. In from this bracket, let me take x power n minus 1 also common. So I'll have it as it is x minus 3 whole square into x power n minus 1 into 3x plus nx minus 3n. So if I am to the right of 0, you can see that this is positive, this is positive, to the right of 0, close to 0, this is close to 0, but this is negative. Therefore, this part is negative. Therefore, this whole bracket, it is coming out to be negative. So I observe that the whole thing, this is positive, and this bracket is negative. Therefore, the whole thing is negative when I am to the right of 0. So for fun, let me write it as when I am to the right of 0, the derivative is f dash of x is negative. Now let me see when I am to the left of 0. If I am to the left of 0, then you can see that again, let me rub away these things and write the symbols again. So if I am to the left of 0, this is negative. I mean, sorry, this is positive anyways, whole square. Okay. Now, this part is close to 0 and this is negative. So, obviously, this whole thing is negative. Okay. And now, coming to this one, I cannot decide unless I know the parity of the power. I should know whether it is even or odd. I want you to observe that if this is going to be odd, n minus 1 is odd. N minus 1 is odd means n is even. So when n is even, then I can say that this is negative, and then I can say that the whole thing will become positive. The derivative will be positive. When n is even, I observe to the right of 0 derivative negative, to the left of 0 derivative positive. So derivative negative to the right means it is decreasing on the right side, and left side derivative is positive means it is increasing on the left side. Therefore, at 0 we have a maximum when n is even. So option B is the answer. Now if you want, you can similarly rule out the other options. Okay, let's go to next problem. See, in this problem, it is not a conventional problem, not an orthodox one, not one that usually we study. It does not come under any of those types. So I observe that in each and every option that he has given, x into e power x plus 1 by x is there in every option. So for fun, let us take its derivative. So if I take its derivative, it's uv rule I am applying. It will be e power x plus 1 by x u dash v plus u v dash. That will be e power x plus 1 by x into derivative of that will be 1 minus 1 by x square. So taking e power x plus 1 by x common, I see that we have 1 plus multiplying this x or sending this x into the bracket, I'll have x minus 1 by x. And you are so lucky that you directly got your integrand. Therefore, option A is the answer. Let's go to next problem. In this problem, for fun, let's call this as x. Then it will be sigma r equal to 0 to n minus 1 whole power r into ncr into 1 plus rx by 1 plus, observe that I can write it as log a power m log a, like that. So it is n into log 10 to the base e, we have called it as x whole power r. So this is nothing but writing separate sigmas. I'll have sigma minus 1 whole power r into ncr into 1 by 1 plus nx whole power r, plus the second one sigma minus 1 whole power r into ncr into rx by 1 plus nx whole power r. Now we know that we don't like this r there, so we bring out n by r from ncr, cancel that, and coming to the first part, it is like sigma ncr x power r. So we know that that is nothing but the expansion of 1 minus 1 by 1 plus nx whole power n, the first part. The second sigma, writing this ncr into r as n into the 10, I can write outside n minus 1 cr minus 1, it's minus 1 whole power r into n minus 1 cr minus 1 into x. Observe that x we can write outside the sigma because sigma is running over r. So under sigma, x is constant, r is varying. So numerator is finished. Now coming to the denominator, as I have only r minus 1 here, in the denominator I'll write one extra 1 plus nx outside, and the remaining r minus 1 1 plus nx's, we keep them inside the sigma. And also, to see it as the expansion, the only thing I'm having is here I'm having one r extra. So writing 1 minus 1 outside, you have it as, here I take the LCM, this will be 1 plus nx minus 1 means nx by 1 plus nx whole power n. And from this, when I write 1 minus outside, I'll have minus nx by 1 plus nx into the remaining sigma is nothing but 1 minus 1 by 1 plus nx whole power n minus 1's expansion. So it is nothing but nx by 1 plus nx whole power n minus nx by 1 plus nx into, here again taking LCM, I'll have it as nx whole power n minus 1 by 1 plus nx whole power n minus 1. So you can see that it is 0. Therefore the given summation, it is equal to 0. Let's go to next problem. So over here we have to tell whether it is positive, negative, like that means basically it is an inequality. Now we know that problems on inequality are not so easy. See here, you need to observe that if you take a plus b plus c and a plus b minus c and c plus a minus b, and if you add them and take by 2, this is nothing but a. So what I am trying to say is, observe that a is equal to a plus b minus c plus c plus a minus b by 2, and this is greater than or equal to am greater than or equal to its gm root of a plus b minus c into c plus a minus b. Similarly, if I write for b and c, I have b is greater than or equal to root of a plus b minus c into b plus c minus a, and c is greater than or equal to root of c plus a minus b into c plus b minus a. And so you have ABC is greater than or equal to, taking product of all these three, you'll have a plus b minus c into b plus c minus a into c plus a minus b. But observe that to have equality in the AMGM inequality, the quantities involving in the inequality must be equal. But these two cannot be equal because he said that ABC are distinct numbers. Therefore, I can safely assume that this is strictly greater than this. Therefore, the given quantity is nothing but a negative quantity. Let's go to next problem. So in this problem, everything is evident from the diagram. I am taking our parabola as the standard parabola y square equal to 4ax. And if I take P as T1 and Q as T2, because it is a focal chord, we have T1, T2 is equal to minus 1. Now let me write the equation to PA. A is 0, 0. So the slope of, I can simply see it as chord joining T1 and T2, where T2 is 0 here. While writing the equation of AP, I am saying, so it is y into T1 plus T2 is equal to 2x plus 2a T1 T2. Here T2 is 0. Y into T1 plus T2 is equal to 2x plus 2a T1 T2, that is also 0. So this is what I am getting. Now let us see the coordinates of r. We know that equation to directrix is x equal to minus a. So substituting that value here, I observe that r is nothing but minus a comma minus 2a by t1. Similarly, I can write t as minus a comma minus 2a by t2. Now we want angle RST. We know that SC is nothing but a comma 0. So if I go for slope of ST, slope of ST will be 2a by T2 by 2a. So I am getting it as 1 by T2. Similarly, slope of, this is slope of ST. Similarly, slope of SR is 1 by T1. Now we observe that product of slopes is minus 1 because T1, T2 is minus 1. And therefore, angle between them is 90 degrees. Let's go to next problem.